welcome to the third episode of the Inside LPY After Hours. We have a fantastic table of folks here. And tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. You're not going to see much of me, I don't think, because I have been booted out of my seat. Tonight we are going to do an interview with the one and the only Justin Brown.
I don't like cameras. No, you don't have to switch the cameras.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quickly, as a bit of an introduction, Justin owns Signs and More in Albertville. He is a father of the one and the only Ella Brown, and Logan Brown, and Jeremiah Brown. And he also is the winningest offensive coordinator for the Albertville Lady Aggie. Not only in school history, but in state history. No one at Albertville has ever been a winningest offense coordinator.
High praise. High praise there, sir.
So what we're going to do tonight is they're going to get the opportunity just to ask him questions. So hope y'all have some good questions to ask him. Any advice, like life advice, would be good. I mean, this is a relatively serious podcast. Not that we don't get goofy. We certainly do. But ask goofy questions if you want to. Ask serious questions and things that maybe you could glean from the wisdom of Justin Brown. So, with that being said, I am going to get up, let Adri sit here, control the cameras, and we'll see how that goes. So, go.
Hey, guys. Okay, does anybody want to start off and ask JV a question?
I will. What is your definition of winning?
My definition of winning. That is a fantastic question. And of course, everybody wants to point to the scoreboard and say a win is a win, a loss is a loss. But I don't know. I feel like that if you can look at yourself in the mirror and honestly say, like, we did everything that we could. We're getting better. We showed up and played with heart, with a good attitude. Even if it doesn't show up on the scoreboard, that is a win in my book.
That was great.
Yeah, you say something. Please, I told you I have a fear of microphones.
How are you feeling about the season?
How
this
about
year?
the season?
Yeah.
Well, like I just said, you look at last year. We have taken many steps in a better direction. We haven't won every game. We've lost a couple, but let a couple slip away. But all in all, I would say that we are leaps and bounds better than what we were last year. And it's just one game at a time, man. Just keep doing what we do and worry about, like, what do we say? We say worry about our circle, right? As long as we're handling what we're supposed to handle within our circle, it's a success. And keep doing what we do.
Okay, I have a question. Who has been your biggest inspiration in your life and why?
Oh, man.
Oh, gotcha, huh?
That is a fantastic question. There have been several, and I will probably, since you put me on the spot, I'll definitely probably leave somebody off of that short list. But I'd probably say Q. Q has been, which I haven't known you as long as I've known Q.
Clay just acted like he got stabbed in the heart.
Q has been a fantastic friend to me when I wasn't necessarily desirable as a friend. When I had recently come back to faith, he took me under his wing and was like, "Hey, let's figure this thing out and let's figure out what steps are next for you." And just been just a incredible human being to be around. I told you earlier, I was listening to the podcast today. Somebody was asking about a quote. If you want to see where you'll be in 5 years, show me your friends. I've heard more than that. Like, show me your friends in the books that you read. But I'm very thankful to call him a friend because 5 years ago, if I thought that I'd be standing here, sitting here on a podcast with y'all, that's crazy to me. But like, it's very cool the influence that he's had on me for sure.
All right. So this is like a question for like a lot of athletes, and not only athletes but people too. And this could also be some advice. How do you keep your relationship with God centered around sports at the same time? Because I know that there's some toxic environments around some players and like what goes on with everybody.
So say that one more time.
Like, how do you keep your relationship with God centered around the sports? And like, because there's some toxic environments, like there are people always trash talking, cussing, doing all that. Like, how do you keep your relationship with God equal with your sports too?
Right. Man, like we were talking about defining winning a minute ago. Like, if we solely focus on the scoreboard, there's not a whole lot of opportunity for God to be in that, right? And so, at least I feel like that we do a pretty good job of daily at practice. We pray to start practice and to end practice. We get to tell the girls like, hey, if you haven't heard it today, we love you and we're here for you if you need anything. And then as much as you try to do that, like that's almost impossible, man. Like I got fired up last week in a game and said something that I shouldn't have said. Like, and had to kind of, it's competitive and it's just the nature of things. And I had to go back and apologize. Like, hey man, like I kind of got fired up there. I didn't mean to. But isn't that life though? Like if it was easy to just keep that the center focus of everything, like there would, you know what I'm saying? Like we say that we want to do that, but do we actually do that all the time? And I don't know. It's nice to have checks and balances like a Clay or a Q, at least for me, that can reel me back in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one. What was something that happened in your life that completely changed your perspective on other things?
Of other things?
Like on things in general.
On things in general. Glaring thing that happened to me was when I became a dad. Like life was one way and then life is not life anymore. Like life almost began then. And I don't know, just the whole, which I know none of y'all have experienced that yet, but like, it is literally night and day from I'm not a dad and now I am a dad, and it's the whole world changes after that.
So what gets you like motivated on like the tired, foggy days where you don't want to be anywhere? And like what gets you running and excited and pumped for everything so you can get your day started?
If I'm being honest, man, I am a lot of times like poorly motivated. I have a hard time getting going a lot of times, but I don't know, I guess we've been talking about athletics and whatnot, is the people and the stories that, this was said the other day and I get to go check on that situation, or we put in a new play and players been struggling with it and now they figured it out. Like it's the wins, if you will, that keep you coming back for it. It's just really cool to see people growing into a new role or something like that.
I have a question. This is so random, but it was just like I'm kind of wondering. So, I know like, you're on the worship team and stuff, and like, you're very big into that. So like, what? Not even like while you were on stage, but like, what is just like a very cool and like impactful church experience that you've had?
So recently, were y'all here the night that Clay had asked me to do like the one song? That was one of the absolute coolest things that has ever happened ever. Which those that weren't there, I hate microphones. I hate plugging up my guitar. I would rather do it all acoustic all the time. And so when Clay asked me to come do that, I was like, hey, can I do unplugged? And he said, yeah. And it wasn't necessarily even planned. I was going to do, stand on the stage or whatever. And then everybody ended up coming down to the front, and I just sat on the front of the stage, and we worshiped together, man. And it was fantastic.
Okay, I have a question.
Sorry. I was like,
So, what's your favorite thing about coaching and why?
My favorite thing about coaching? It's the people, number one. But like that, I didn't realize that I missed the game as much as I did. And it just, I don't know, if you can't play anymore, you coach, right? So just getting to be a part of a team and build relationships with people, and then, like I was saying a minute ago, getting to watch people grow and to have any kind of part in that whatsoever is just phenomenal.
Okay, it's my time.
Go, Avon.
When you look at someone who hasn't found their relationship in Christ, what is your first thought or initial reaction on them? Or, yeah.
So I have, playing off of what y'all discussed, I think it was last week, I have been guilty of being a 7 who was angry at a 2, right? And I try really, really, really hard to not be that guy, to get frustrated or to get angry, because people, it turns out, will people if you give them any opportunity, right? Like, they will be people. But there was a particular time that there was a guy that pretty painfully, obviously, didn't know Christ. And I was, trying to invest in him and trying to get him and his family to come to church or whatever. And Q said something, asked me, how's that going or whatever. And we had gone to dinner. I can't remember what happened exactly, but it was an awkward kind of dinner. We didn't really want to be there anymore because something was said or something was done. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't really talk to him anymore. We just kind of, and he looked at me and he said, man, do you think he knows Jesus? And I was like, probably not. He said, well, what do you expect? And that really opened my eyes to the fact that I can't expect you to buy into a standard that you yourself have not bought into. Like, if I think a certain way, or I think that this should be done a certain way because X, Y, and Z, like, and you don't believe that, like, how can I hold you to that same standard? Therefore, I should show grace to you because God shows grace to me when I fall on my face. And not that I do a good job of that, but that's kind of the perspective that I try to live by.
All right. I got a question about like Wednesday nights. What's your favorite thing about them?
My favorite thing about Wednesday nights, I love worship nights. Man, if I get to come hang out with y'all and do that, that's always a big deal to me. I love doing that, and I love getting to worship with y'all. Y'all get after it like no other. So it's very cool to get to come do that. That's my favorite.
Okay.
And Clay has a decent message every now and again.
I agree.
Okay. Have you ever felt like you were losing your relationship with God, and why?
Oh, Annalise.
Gotcha.
That's a good one.
How much time do we have? And I don't care, man. I'm an open book. If you don't know, and if you're asking that question, you probably don't. I spent the majority of my life running as hard and as fast away from God as I possibly could. And I mean, you name a bad decision, I've probably made it. And we don't have to go off in the weeds on that unless y'all want to. But yeah, like I had a couple of things that went down in a youth group. Like, I was raised in church, and I tried to followed Jesus and tried to do, did all the things, right? And I decided, like, there was a person that did something that really hurt me. And I decided then, like, I will not be that guy to anyone else. And that was kind of, I just like turned away and started running. And I ran for a really, really long time. Not long after Ella was born, my wife said something about coming to church. And I was to the point where I don't know that I would necessarily call myself an atheist. I might say that out loud at that point, but I think that I was more just running really hard and denying the conviction that I was feeling. But to the point where my wife said, "Hey, let's go to church." And I was like, "Absolutely not. That's not happening." Like my parents forced their beliefs on me, blah, 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 blah. My kids will make that decision for themselves when they're old enough to. And she says, "Well, you can do what you want." But it turns out it's Mother's Day, and you can either get up and go with me to church, or you can be the guy that made his wife go to church by herself on Mother's Day. Oh, it got me good, man. And so anyway, where are we going? And I'm like, which I had known Q from, a lifetime ago. And I was like, I think he's involved at this Lifepoint place. Like, if we have to go, like, let's go there. And I don't remember exactly what it was that happened that day, but I want to say very soon after we had started coming, like they play Foo Fighters or something, the band does, and I'm like, I am in. That band was awesome. And then okay, so now I'm not going to spontaneously combust when I walk through the door. I know that I can actually go there, and it's not that bad. At least there's going to be good music. And I can get her to leave me alone if I'm saying, "Hey, I'll go to church with you." At least we can just, keep her quiet, keep her happy, right? And we started coming, and God started working on me, man, and here we are.
That was good.
How do you learn from your everyday experience, from like your wins and your losses, or just literally anything that happens around you? How do you learn and get better from that?
Well, you have to learn from both, right? Like if it's a good thing, if it's successful, and that can be in sports or in life in general. Like success, you want more of that, so you learn and you take note and say, like, that worked, and I should probably do that again. We've been in business now. My dad started our business in 1999, I think. He's never really advertised. He's never done anything, but he's always treated people fair and done good work, and like it's worked. So we keep doing that, right? I don't know if it's a loss, if it's a failure. Like, that's never fun to fail. I think that, I don't know, if you're not failing though, like you're not trying hard enough, you're not dreaming big enough dreams. So like I would say that, if you're failing, then at least you're taking chances and you're trying to do stuff, but don't let a failure define you. Learn, like you said, learn from it, figure out what went wrong and how to correct your mistake, and try again. And if you fail again, repeat. Just don't let a failure be in vain. Like learn from your failures. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
What is your advice for people who are struggling to find Christ?
Why are you struggling? No, that's my advice to them. Like it's the greatest and simplest gift that we have. Just believe, right? I don't know. I walked around with a lot of pretty thick walls for a long time, and the day that it was finally like, okay, God, I'm ready to surrender. was the most freeing and just, oh my gosh, why did I wait so long to do this? This is what I've been missing. Um, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Is anybody? Okay. Say like 10 years ago, somebody came up to you and was like, in 10 years, you're going to be a Christian. What would you change along the way? Like, what was something that you'd do better than to make like your relationship better with Christ now?
From 10 years ago?
Yeah.
So y'all see me on Wednesday nights or on Sunday morning or whatever. Um, we y'all see me on stage and I don't know what I look like, but like I have fun up there now. But there was a long time where I was afraid. Um, and not of like I've always played, well not always played, but since I was like 15, I've played guitar, and I've always loved to play music, write music, do all that kind of stuff. But like that was between me and my couch at home, right? Like or around a campfire or something like that. There's no way that I could get up and lead people. Um, but just very apprehensive and very unsure. And so I would, if I could change anything, I hate that I missed getting to do what I do now as long as I have. I would do that much sooner and much more often, because it's like my favorite thing in the world now. Where it used to just be this terrifying, awful, oh my gosh, I can't do that thing, and that terrible thing has turned into one of my favorite things now. So
All right. So this is more of like can you give it some advice? Because I know a lot of kids that have been hanging around people and they're just surrounded by a toxic environment and they don't know how to escape from it. And like you can tell that it's hurting them and it hurts them worse, but they don't know how to leave because they don't want to speak up. Like, do you have any advice for them?
I mean, I would just say if it's a toxic thing, and I don't know, family situations can be a little hairy as far as being able to leave, but like that's one thing, but especially at a friend group, man, like if it's a toxic thing and it's making you uncomfortable, like just get out, like be bold enough to like stay true to your convictions and to that there's someone and there's people around this table sitting here that will be in your corner with you, and you don't have to if it's a fear of being alone after you get out of said situation, you're not going to be alone. There's and I mean I plug LPY all day long, but there is a place, whether it be here or anywhere, where you belong and where it's not a toxic thing. So just be bold enough to take your stuff and go play somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
What's your advice on people that is struggling with anxiety and depression?
Just be transparent about that, man. Um, there are people there are people in your life that are struggling with the very same thing that you are. Um, that's one of my I guess pet peeves is I hate the Sunday school answer. Like you walk in the door and everybody has to put their mask on, right? Like, all right, we're here, we're at church, everything's got to be okay, and we've got to look a certain way, and we've got to say a certain thing. And how you doing, brother? Oh, I'm blessed beyond measure. When everything's crashing down around you, um, fighting the car on the way or whatever. But like there's someone who is struggling with the same thing, and the the transparency or the vulnerability that you show by sharing with someone will either A, help you, or B, help them. And then in either case, now I don't have to be struggling with anxiety, depression alone. Like I've got a person who I know is in my corner, that when I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling down, like, you lean on me, I'll lean back on you, kind of deal. And we're not meant to do life alone. So find people that you can talk to, that you trust, and the people that will be your people.
Okay, my turn. I have two questions, so come back to me. But my first one is, from an outsider standpoint, do you think it's more important for someone to strengthen their relationship in Christ but live for themselves, or live in Christ but don't have a relationship? Like, example, prayer and worship. So it's like showing, if they're trying to make it seem like they love God, but they don't have an actual relationship with Him.
Say that one more time. I'm following you, but I want to make sure I got everything right.
Do you think it's more important for someone to strengthen their relationship in Christ but live for themselves, or live for Christ but don't have a relationship, like, with God personally?
So if you're...
She's saying, like, do you think it's better for someone to make it seem like they have a relationship with Christ, or make it seem like they have a relationship with Christ but actually don't? Or is it more important for them to live for themselves but actually have a relationship?
Or, like, just make it seem like they don't have a relationship, like, be embarrassed or not open about their relationship with Him.
I like this
So
question.
if one was truly in a relationship with Christ, I don't think that they would be trying to live for themselves. So I would say that if you're lifting your hands in worship and you're reading your Bible and all of that stuff to check boxes, like, and you're still living for yourself, that all that's probably in vain. And on the other hand, I think that if you're in a relationship with Christ and living for Christ, you wouldn't... Well, we're supposed to, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, right? Like, you're not going to hide that. And like, for me, myself, like, I've been there. Like, I want to get up and I want to sing, but like, there's a real paralyzing thing that happened to me, or has happened to me before, where I'm like, my hands are shaking, I'm sweating, I can't, I don't remember the chords anymore. Like, that's a very real thing. Not because I wasn't intentionally doing that. It's just something that happened, right? And I don't think that it's like you snap your fingers and here we are. Like, I think it's a journey. It's a process of, as I continue to walk with Christ, I grow, and he shapes me and molds me, and now I'm different than I was a year ago or a day ago, whichever it may be.
Okay, I have one more. And it's because of the fact that you weren't that you didn't have a relationship with Christ before your marriage. Would you say that your marriage now is centered around Him?
If I'm honest about that, I think we do a good job of saying that it is, but I could definitely do a better job of leading my family, like I'm called to. But it is leaps and bounds better than it was before we were in this environment. At church, like, my wife is leading a small group at our house right now, which is unheard of. We've had small group at our house when I was leading, which is also just crazy. But I could always do a better job of that.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
JK,
yeah.
guys. JK.
You can go.
No,
Your
you
time-
got it, girl.
It's your time to shine.
I just have a quick question. If I don't want to ask it, have you ever like made a bad decision in your teenage years ever? I'm just-
Like,
You have to,
literally,
No, you have to like.
Have you ever made a bad decision in your teenage years?
like, make up the worst decision that you could think of. And I would
Oh, that's
bet
me, guys.
I don't know, just like hang around bad groups and stuff.
yes.
Okay, if you got the option to go back into your teenage years and erase everything that you did ever bad, but your whole life would be different now, would you take that or would you keep it and why?
Oh man, that is a fantastic question. Um, there's part of me that says that I would go back because man, I did a lot of dumb stuff. But I don't think that I would be who I am had I not been through the things that I've been through. And not so I don't think I would change it. I think that I don't know. It's there's y'all gonna make it. I'm over here trying to have a moment, and Clay's over here in the corner just like cackling, laughing.
I even started going.
Can we turn the camera to Clay, please? Is there a camera?
She said, "Is there anything you did ever bad?" Yes. And I looked at Clay and I said, "She said, did you?" Okay, keep talking.
I may have
Apologies.
unconsciously done a thing or two bad. Nobody.
Unconscious? What?
Okay.
Y'all had a whole conversation about unconscious versus subconscious.
Oh, true.
Okay.
I have a question. Okay, so last one. Last question.
Ooh.
Make it a good one.
Okay, so this is also like some. Hold on. It's because Clay has to get a good picture because he hasn't gotten a good picture of the basketball.
You got some hair like right there. No, other side.
Just get like a flyaway.
I want a good picture.
I was just kidding.
Kayla, we need a good picture.
Make this my picture. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Put it on
Anyway,
me next.
so you're a part of worship team. I'm a part of worship team. I've sang with you before, right? Well, what would you say if like because I was actually talking about this with my friend the other day, where she has like served in church before, but got so burnt out by it, and not because of like the way that they were doing it or because of like the people, like nothing like that. Like it was just her personally, like her relationship with God was just not in a good place. And then I was talking to her and I was like, I'm just gonna be straight up. I have always sang, like I've always sang at church, and worship is like my everything. Like I love worshiping and it's the way that I connect with the Lord. But maybe in like the past year or two, I told Terry and Lynn, I was like, I don't want to do worship anymore because I was so burnt out by it, and I spiritually wasn't where I needed to be, to where I didn't want to get up on stage and be like, amen, I love the Lord, because like I wasn't, like there was no part of me that was like, not like, I don't know how to explain it, but
No,
like
I know
you
where
know,
you're at, yeah.
yeah.
I got you.
Okay. But like, what advice do you have for someone that is just feeling like that and doesn't know what to do?
I worship anyway.
Okay.
And I've been there. I've been there more times than I'm willing to admit. Where, it's there's the jobs piling up and the bills at home, and then the kids have practice, and then oh my goodness, I've got to do this and I've got to go there, and then oh man, it's another Wednesday night, and it's what I mean, like, and it just piles up, and it's like, man, I need a break. I'm so burnt out, like I feel burnt out, and I've got all this weight that I feel like I'm carrying around, and then like I worship, and that all goes away, and it's there tomorrow, but for the time that you get to do that, like it just melts. So worship anyway.
That's good.
Worship
Table
anyway.
one out.
Table
So
one.
we're going to take a break. Thank you for everyone that has joined us. We're going to take a break with table one and move on.
Best
Oh, wait.
group out.
Make sure
And
my picture's
Dab.
And move on with table
It's
two.
dab time.
Follow us on Instagram at lpy.youth. Follow us on Facebook. I'm guessing it's also lpy.youth or Lifepoint.
Welcome back to the podcast with Justin Brown. We're going to continue our investigation into why Justin Brown stays at Lifepoint.
What? We're investigating why he stayed at the height. All right, welcome back to the inside. We have our interview with Justin Brown. We had something going on there with Wade. We have a new table here as well. Before we get going, it's a weird thing to say, I suppose. I don't know, but I got thinking about this. How often do you think you and I talk?
How often do you and I talk?
Yeah.
Since football season, like at least every other day.
I got to thinking about that today, and I was like, I'm not sure that there's anybody I talk to more
No,
than
that's
you.
that's
At least right at this point in our life,
Yeah.
I suppose.
like my wife, and then probably you.
I might talk to you more than my wife.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, interesting. Any other questions? This will be y'all's time to shine.
Any other question? Let's see. So, JB, I guess we'll start on the musical side. When and why did you start learning to play the guitar?
So I think I was 14, 15. I got a guitar for Christmas or something, and like didn't know how to play, but I've learned that you could like tune the top string down to D and bang on it, and it would make cool sounds if there was enough distortion. And so I did that for a little while, but I had a buddy that played an acoustic guitar, and he was really, really good and was kind enough to offer to help me learn. And so he would like draw on a piece of paper like where to put your fingers and everything else. And he's like, just go home and press down there until it sounds good. And I said, okay. And I go back the next day and I was like, hey, watch this. Sounds good. And he said, all right, now put your fingers there and go home and press there until it sounds good. So I did that repeatedly until, and I don't remember what the song was, but he turned on whatever song and was like, those chords that you just learned are the chords for this song. Now go home and hit it with your other hand until it sounds like what you're hearing coming out of the speakers. And so we did that repeatedly, and turns out like the way I play now, even I don't know a whole lot. You know, a couple chords and you can move your capo here to there. You can play just about anything. So
Yeah. So, what would you say motivates you to play?
well, we were talking while y'all were in the other room, man. I just love the fact that like I don't try to listen to Tyler Childers anymore and figure out how to play that. Like I used to say, what people ask me, what do you play? Well, like I play me. Like I try to create music. But like now it's more, I don't have as much time to do that. But I play to be able to do what I do on Wednesday nights or Sundays. Just because it's like literally my favorite thing on the planet to do now. And there's an element of like I have to be prepared for that. But at the same time, like prepared or not, like we get to worship, and that's all the motivation you should need, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what would you say you do kind of during Sundays to keep your nerves down while playing in front of the crowd?
It's weird, man, and I've already kind of hit on this a minute ago. Like there's like this weird fear and like almost a paralyzing thing where like I don't remember the words, but like I don't know when, and I don't guess it ever will completely go away. But like I guess I've done it enough now to where it's not near as bad as what it was, and it's really weird. Especially the coffee house is way worse than what I call big church, right? Mm-hmm. Everything kind of goes into almost a blur at the lights go down low, but like I can tell you what color people's eyes are at the coffee house, man, and generally down here, it is like me, and so if I hit a wrong note or something, it's pretty painfully obvious to everybody, where I can kind of hide that I'm not that good at big church, right? And so I don't know, as far as nerves go, it's just one of those things where you take a deep breath and it's going. We're going to go do it. And we can either be nervous about it or we can try to have fun and get to worship. And I choose to, most of the time anyway, I choose to just go have fun, and it will be what it'll be. And, nerves just go away, and we'll worship and have a little fun, hopefully.
Yeah. To add kind of a religious aspect to it as well, do you think religiously, like, that's where you're supposed to be?
As far as what?
Like, musically wise, like playing for the church. Do you feel like that's where you're meant to be? You're meant to
Me
do that?
personally?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. I and I hit on this earlier too, but like I used to play for my couch or my love or the recliner at home, right? Like I didn't play and in front of anyone, and I don't know, I can at the very least carry a tune, and I can strum a couple chords, and I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to be able to do that in any capacity whatsoever. But not only does it bring me great joy, um, it's pretty awesome. It fulfills me to see people worshiping while we do what we do, right? It's a very humbling thing to see people having an experience with God. If you're creating an opportunity for them to get closer to God, like that's a very I don't know, a very sacred is the wrong word, but it's a very heavy responsibility to me. And like I would not rather be doing anything, man. Like that's exactly where I want to be.
Do you have any?
Okay, yeah, I do. Okay, I was gonna ask, the song you sang Sunday, Rescue, you wrote that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you like tell what your kind of motivation was and like how you wrote that song? Because I really love that song, and also like where to find it because I looked it up and I couldn't find it.
That is like strictly in my head, man. It is nowhere as of now.
You should put it out.
You should send a strongly worded email to, I believe it would be tfullwilder at discoverlifepoint.com about that.
Well, I looked up Justin Brown on Apple Music and I couldn't find anything, so I really think you should be on Apple Music.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
But no, that song, it's really funny how that all came to be. I was doing, well, let me back up. So I literally played the beginning portion of that song every single time I touched my guitar for 2 years. Like I sit down and I just play that one little lick at the beginning over and over and over again, just waiting for something to happen because I really like it. It's cool. I don't know what the reason behind that was, but this is the time I'm going to sit down and it's going to be there, and it's not. And Q and I had been doing discipleship stuff for a while, and I went to his office one day and sat down, and I don't remember exactly what
Q has an office?
what he did at the time.
Okay.
I say it was his office. Maybe that's where we met, and I always said Q's office, but it's where the printer is.
Yeah.
It's where we were meeting this particular day. Anyway, I'm complaining about how busy I am. I've got I don't remember, man. It was like I'm discipling with him, or he's discipling me, and then I'm meeting with a couple guys that I'm trying to disciple myself. I got to do that, and I got life group coming to the house, and the kids have basketball or whatever, and like I've got all this stuff. And he looks at me and he was like, "Man, were you even living life before you met Jesus?" And just kind of left it at that. And for whatever reason, that just like stuck in my head. And I sat down that night, and like I had 3,000 other times played that first lick, and it just popped, and there you go. And it just, the words started. And I'm a weirdo. I don't actually, like, there's no written record of anything I've ever written, I don't think. I just play it over and over and over again until it's a thing. And by the time I get done playing it, like, I've memorized it. I don't know how those wires get connected, but that's just kind of how the process works for me. But I don't know, the words to that song, I've been asleep dreaming of a life that was stolen, is how it starts. And like, there's a long time where it was like, man, what would you have been? What life would you be living had you not done this, or had you done that differently. Um, I've been dead, chained to a past that is broken. Um, like all of those regrets and, um, you know, the embarrassment or, um, I don't know, the struggle to move past things that were, um, like it's literally chaining me down, and I can't get past it. I've been lost far from the path that you've chosen. Um, like I was so far off course. I mean, just way, way, way off course. And like how through all of that, like how is it possible for me to still come back? And how could the next verse is how could you wait for me to cave, right? Like and then the chorus obviously is but now I'm alive. I've been all this stuff and felt all these things, and none of it matters anymore because now I'm alive. I've never lived this way before, and it's like the first time that you've ever breathed air. It's just, I don't know. That's kind of where that came from. And like I said, 15 minutes after I sat down, there was the beginnings of a song, and Chris Rogers and I kind of put the bridge in there later. And then it was the thing for, I don't know, a long time before it ever made its way to a stage on Sunday morning. I think maybe I played it down here at the coffee house a couple times. But Terry heard it at some point and was like, dude, we need to do that song. And then that's a whole nother can of worms there, because, man, we had a really, really cool moment last Wednesday for practice. Kind of struggling a little bit with one of the songs we were going to do. And Lynn sits down and she's like, hey, so I want you all, as you sing this song, I want you to go back to the day, to the minute, to the second that you first said, here's my heart, Lord. And and that's the name of the song, here's my heart. So when you sing those words from that place, not just to be hitting the right note or to be, to sound good or whatever. Remember that and then sing that. Here's my heart. And we were talking about being vulnerable and this or that. Well, like, man, the song that I sang Sunday, like that's my song. That's my pain, and it's super. It's a weird thing. I've tried and I can't find words to explain what it means to have lived that, felt that, wrote that down, put music to it, and then to visually see someone else singing and worshiping and connecting with God through song. And like, it's not easy to show everybody that, right? Like that's not I guess as a person who writes songs, like maybe that's the point, is for people to say, I don't know, but like, I had somebody reach out to me on Facebook this week and was like, hey, just wanted you to know you and your song were amazing Sunday. I needed that. And like that by itself, like living the pain, regret, all the stuff, coming back, everything made all of that worth it just for that one person to say that like it touched them in some way. Does that make sense? Like it is, I don't know. I would do it again for that person to have whatever experience they had or be encouraged by something that I had a hand in, you know what I mean?
I was trying to think. There's another song that you sang. I can't remember exactly how it goes. I'm pretty sure you wrote it. Something. Oh, the maybes.
I remember that one. It's a pretty catchy little tune. It was the smash summer hit of 2024.
Yeah.
But I can't take credit for writing that one. That was all Lincoln, man. I just put music to it.
Yeah. Lincoln wrote that song.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, you're not cool enough to know about the maybes,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I got left out of that one.
You didn't get. Yeah, you didn't get left out of nothing, Wade.
My bad.
And we even tried to bring it back for worship night, which I thought was cool, but and it didn't hit the same. I was very disappointed.
That's true. I mean, some moments are only there to be experienced once.
Yeah. Don't try to relive it.
That's right.
That was wild too, man. Like it was, funny and everybody played along and it was great. But like seriously, for the rest of the trip, you couldn't walk 10 steps without somebody going,
the
"Oh,
maybes."
the maybes."
For the next 2 weeks.
Ding, 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 ding.
I guess I was gonna ask you a question. What was your like first experience at Lifepoint? Like, when was the first time you came here, and like, who brought you here? Or did you come on your own? Or like, how'd you end up here?
I was basically dragged, kicking and screaming here. And I if you listen to this, you'll hear that whole story of me being dragged here. But it was, and I say this all the time, man. Like, I try to remember how I felt when I first walked through the doors, because I was not happy about being here. And like, I would venture to guess that every Sunday that there is a me that has walked through the door that was also drugged here, kicking, screaming, or whatever the situation may be. I don't know. That's a thing that it makes so, and I will elaborate on this to answer your question. The first Sunday that I came here, I want to say that they played Foo Fighters. The band played Foo Fighters, and you don't know what the Foo Fighters is?
Yeah, get her out of here. It's got to be boys only.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Let's put this out here. That's like one of my favorite things is when the band just throws in a random song.
Right.
Like, that's like one of the best things ever. It's just like comes out of nowhere.
Well, no, and so for me, like, I was mad and didn't want to be here. Well, you start playing my favorite band, like literally my favorite band. I'm like, all right, like I'm listening now.
Yeah.
And it kind of broke the ice for me, but like,
Foo Fighters is a band.
man.
And they played it at Lifepoint?
Yes. Lifepoint, the first song on Sundays, but this is well before me, correct?
Correct.
We used to, the first song on a Sunday morning used to be some kind of secular song.
And it wasn't like every Sunday. It'd be like maybe one Sunday a month they would throw in.
That was not a worship song at all.
Like, the song, the song "Heaven Let Your Light Shine Down." I don't know if that's the name of that, but whoa, heaven let your light shine down. You know that song?
I mean,
So-
it wasn't. There ain't everything at Lifepoint's intentional.
Yeah. Lifepoint's for the people.
So like, it's for the purposes of people such as.
So that song is definitely not a worship song, but like when I heard that song in this setting, I've never thought about it like that, and I don't know, it just kind of changes things. But like Clay was saying, it's more of a kind of break the ice, and if you do have walls, like I did when I first came here, like we have just shattered all of those because, oh my gosh, you just played Foo Fighters. And like, I didn't realize that now my walls are down and the word is going to do what the word does, because now I've let my guard down. But when I had planned on having my walls up the whole time,
instead of being like zoned out, you're kind of like focused now. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
man,
Like,
you just
that
played
was
my
really,
favorite
really-
song.
Right.
That was the first song you heard when you came to Lifepoint?
It was,
They
if
can't
it
hear you,
wasn't the
man.
first song, it was
I know that.
very soon after I came. The first time I came was Mother's Day, so I don't know if I'm remembering that wrong. So I don't know why they would have played Foo Fighters on Mother's Day. Maybe it was the second time I came. But
She's about to listen to Foo Fighters.
I'm not going to listen.
please listen to all of it, man. It's so
It's really good.
If we didn't have copyright issues, we'd be playing that right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe we need to cut it out
that sounds
right
like
quick.
me.
Maybe we need to
what's
take a
my favorite
pause and
song?
play Foo Fighters.
Take a break.
At Lifepoint.
Foo Fighter break.
Weston is speaking. Weston, speaking of
Came
that
out of
microphone, buddy.
See, it broke the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Foo Fighters did it again.
That sounds like,
Oh, it's not food.
And it sounds like me when I was and like my first time ever coming, I was only 4, and it sounded exactly like me. I was like,
They've played Foo Fighters and
No,
you was at 4 and
no,
like, heck
no.
yeah.
and I didn't want to be here. I was like kicking and screaming and stuff like that. And
Literally, because you was 4.
yeah.
Most
And I didn't want to be here, and like this is when they still had done like the old and like the old building here.
yeah.
And like I was kicking and screaming and just coming in and stuff like that. And like when he said that, I was like, yeah, I'm exactly like me. When I was like little. So I mean, I get what you mean by that, but
So the Foo Fighters in a wreath.
Yeah. Amazing band.
You
Can't
should.
go.
So it's crazy. It's crazy how much the lead singer of the Foo Fighters looks like the drummer for Nirvana.
She don't know who
it's-
Nirvana is.
Oh, she will not get that joke. She will not get that joke.
No, is it not crazy
You
though?
said
Like, they look
Nirvana?
almost like they're the same
Is that what
person.
he said?
Yeah, it's almost
All
like
I know that that's on
it's
a
almost like
t-shirt
they're the
that
same
people wear
person.
at school. That's the only thing I know about that.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I don't know what it is. It's
I-
just a cute t-shirt.
I
They sell it at
had
boutiques.
it was a player. I don't remember who it was, but they were wearing a Nirvana shirt, and I was like, "Name 5 Nirvana songs," and they're like, "Bang, bang, 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 bang," and I was like, "Hey, all right,
Okay.
kudos to you."
Are you looking
Look,
it up? Too?
there's no way she doesn't know My Hero. Can you
Oh, she knows
be
it. Has to.
My hero.
It's beautiful.
I know. You got to do
It
it.
sounds just like it, man. It's so good.
Or Everlong. She don't know Everlong. It's like it's,
She knows everything.
yeah. There's no. It's just like
No way.
I just don't know the names. You know what I mean?
Everlong, man. Such a good song.
that's Nirvana though. Let's see.
Wait,
Oh.
wait for this epic guitar part here in a second. Wait
Can
for
you
it.
even play this on here?
Wait
we're
for it
gonna
right
play
here.
this.
Listen. Da, da,
Heart-shaped boxes, top tier too.
da, da.
Sing it, Wade.
Yeah, sing it into the mic. Wade, sing it into the mic.
If you could get
No,
40
heart-shaped box is top tier.
if you
Tier
could get 40% of the lyrics correct without reading them, I'd be
No,
I'd be super impressed.
What?
Hold on, let's see. We gotta do
What's the Weird Al Yankovic remix of Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
you ready? It's like
I don't remember. The only one of Weird
Oh my
Al's songs I can remember is he covered Coolio's "Gangster's Paradise." And,
You've never heard
Wait,
seen the
you've
Weird
never-
Al?
No, I've seen it. I don't remember
hold
what,
on.
but it was instead of
You've never
"Gangster's
watched Batman.
Paradise," it was Amish
the Batman,
Paradise.
the new Batman. You have not watched the new Batman. Something in the way. She's not watched the new Batman.
That's the
Something-
last song on Nevermind. I'm pretty sure.
Something in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
I've
it's
seen-
like it is some weird lyrics. So it's like underneath.
Bro, you gonna have to
the
speak in that
bridge,
microphone back here.
The tarp is stronger.
And
The animals are
there you got it, man. Have all become my pets.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's weird. Super weird.
Wait, what's the next part?
What?
Living. What does he say? Living off of grass and the drippings from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Living off of grass and the drippings from the ceiling. It's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings.
And then it's like something in the way. It doesn't even make sense, but it makes sense.
It doesn't sound like it makes
This
sense
is a
to
guy
me.
thing. I wish Logan was here right now. Logan, I wish you were here right now.
You think Logan knows who Nirvana is?
Logan knows who
He
Nirvana
does.
is. That's all. Me and Logan listen to rock all the time.
Okay.
That's our thing.
I doubted him for a second. I
miss you.
apologize, Logan.
No, literally, that's
You
all we
would
listen to
know.
is Divorced Dad Rock.
My music has become that. That is so sad.
No, that's what it's called.
It's like the
It's like the.
genre.
I mean, that's not what it's called. That's
I mean,
what.
look
that's
up
the,
Divorced Dad Rock, and
that's-
you will be.
I'm
all
not
our
saying that
favorite
you're not
songs.
accurate. I'm just saying that ain't
mean,
what it's called.
Is
You just-
Fighting way
is
better.
classic rock a genre of music like in and of itself, or does music become classic rock as it gets older?
Huh?
Is classic rock a genre of music. Like there is
Yeah.
a classic rock station.
Yes.
But no.
You don't think so?
Because
Oh, you
like
disagree. I thought he was
classic-
asking.
no, I am asking. Classic rock is like what the dads listened to when I was y'all's age, right?
Where does it end and begin?
Correct. Because I turn on a classic rock station and hear Green Day, and I'm like, this is not
That's
classic
not
rock.
classic rock.
But it's on a classic rock station now because it's that old.
I don't know. I feel like classic rock is like
That's gotta count for
is like I don't know, like Jimi Hendrix and them. That's classic rock.
There you go.
But like it just depends because there's already classic rock, like, and they're already in a category. I think it's just gonna be different names because right now rock is kind of like it's in its own category. Like now it's rock is more, I don't know, like early 2000s was more metal. Like it wasn't like you don't really see that in classic. It was more metal, and now it's more pop rock.
Right.
So I think it's just gonna keep getting different names.
I think I like where you're going with that. Like I think I'm okay with classic rock as I know it remaining classic rock forever.
Yeah.
But now we'll go dad rock.
Yeah, like now it's dad rock.
I'm okay with that.
And it might be a grandpa rock eventually, but
Right.
that's the only time it might change.
I'm in.
What are you playing?
Well, let's kind of try to. I was trying to let her hear that, but it's. Oh, here we go. You've never heard this?
Oh my gosh. Don't make me pull up my playlist. The Lonely Road.
You've never heard?
Play Creed. Play
Hey.
Creed. Play Creed right now. Creed.
You know Creed, don't you?
Play Creed right
I
now.
don't know the names.
Can
for
you
them.
wait,
live
hang on before
me
he.
higher?
But you gotta go for it if you're gonna sing it though. You gotta sing Creed. Like,
Church.
there it is.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't got the voice for it. We're on podcast.
My home preacher.
Let's see. Alice in Chains. Man in the Box.
Who's this by?
That's a
It's
good.
Creed.
Is that a person or a band?
It's a band.
One dreamer.
Man. What about oh my god. I forgot the name. Hold on. We have to do some. Now we're gonna think
Did you ever go and listen to the song that I was singing the other day by Creed?
No, I didn't. Man, that's the real thing with me too. I don't know what day it was, but there was a day around 2002 at some point in time where everybody loved Creed the day before,
And hated it.
and then the next day it was like I hate Creed, and
Creed is one of those bands that everyone
What's
wants to act like they hate, but then they go listen to them.
by themselves, like
Yeah.
you can't admit that in public that you like
Correct.
Creed.
I mean,
I'll admit it.
I don't know. Nickelback's not entirely there, but it is for a lot of people.
Is it?
The old Nickelback.
Is it?
No, I'm just saying, like Nickelback is by far the most hated band of all time.
Is it better to be
It's 'cause it's
thought a
overplayed.
fan of Creed or a fan of Nickelback?
Oh, Creed by far.
By
Yeah.
far.
By far.
I would say
So
Creed.
I like Creed.
Creed
way
is more socially
Oh, yeah.
acceptable.
than Nickelback.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't
You're
know
still
how we got
lost,
here.
man. So what do you listen to? That
Literally.
Hold on, you
is this a song you sang the other day?
What about Pearl Jam?
don't hear that?
Can you sing it like you sang it the other day?
No.
Please.
No.
You have to for the podcast now.
Yeah.
We've already
Yeah.
gone way down this
I've
rabbit hole.
sung. He's sung. It's your turn.
You have to give it
Hey,
like
Huh?
Please sing Pearl Jam.
What's that?
Nah,
Hey,
I'll
that's
sing
quite
I'll
cool.
sing Pearl Jam.
What's that?
What's the lyrics?
He makes them up every time too, man.
It's all right.
I wanna see your hand on a let her myself.
That's exactly how it is too. No, like, if you play it right now, she will 100% get it.
What?
No, you literally like you don't know the lyrics unless you
yeah,
read it.
that's true.
Like if you listen to it for the first
All right,
time,
we should play a game where we play that and we all write down what we think he said.
let's see.
I'm gonna play this.
Yeah.
Which one are you?
We might end up having to delete this episode.
No, just
For
this
copyright
section.
issues.
Just this
Just mute
section.
it.
Play even
I'm
flow.
gonna turn that. I'm gonna turn that down until the song
Even
gets on.
flow.
That's
So,
that's not.
I don't know. He looks very angry and
You're
he's
not
yelling
angry at
stuff.
that
I bet that's not.
no, play even
Christian.
flow. Even flow's not bad.
I am.
Here,
Bro.
Oh, you gotta
hold on.
My bad. This is stuff. He's sorry, dude.
So y'all have no idea the can of worms that we've just opened.
That's the point. You can't understand.
Take a ride like
I mean, what a unique voice, though. You know?
No, it's
My
so good,
goodness.
man.
No, it's just you can't not listen to it though. It's just like just driving in your car. You might do speeding.
So there was at least a 3-week period at my job where me and John spoke to one another like that. In literally everything, it was a, "Hey, John, I got this black vinyl right here. I need you to weed it and get it ready to put on the sign." Yeah. And then he would respond, "Hey, Justin, I'll get on that right now. I'll let you know when I get ready if I need some more." And so this goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm being very quiet as to how we were saying that. My dad is 71 years old, and he works with us every day. And after like seriously 3 weeks, he comes back there and he says, "What the crap are y'all saying?" And it was pretty funny. I guess you had to be there, but we did. It was like a 3-week span where like we literally spoke in Pearl Jam. All day, every day. It was exhausting.
No, I get that. Me and my uncle, we had something similar, but it's gonna sound so stupid. But it was one of the most funny things I've ever been a part of. He said hashtag before everything. It was like right when Twitter was like blowing up.
It's not the same thing, Wade.
Okay, but it's similar. And so like he wouldn't like talk full sentences. He would just say hashtag this, hashtag that. And it was like, it sounds stupid now, but like you just had to be there.
It's like a pound sign, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hashtag.
Yeah, like you say, hashtag.
Pound sign.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
It's the same thing.
No.
Hashtag and a pound is the exact same.
What?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm like the oldest young person there is. Like
You might be.
The
You're
pound
an old
sign
soul, man.
Is the store.
Did we just become
No.
best friends?
no. Pound.
That is 100% where you go to church. No, I've said hashtag at least.
I know it's not the hashtag. It's got to be the other one.
I'm hitting the hashtag.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, this is gonna be like its own episode. It's gonna be like comedy with JB.
All right. So kind of close this out.
Close us out. We've been going for 2
We-
seconds.
Hey, we got 20 minutes.
We've been going for some time, my friend.
Sorry.
This is better than an interview. It's just guys being dudes with a girl not knowing anything about it.
I
I'm gonna start crying. You know what I'm talking about when I cried? You know?
What? You talking about when you cried? What are you talking about?
You know, like when me and Katie were doing the announcements, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be like that.
At least we learned some cool bands tonight, though.
Yeah. You got some stuff to go home and talk to your dad about.
He doesn't want to talk about that.
All right.
I'm not laughing.
So Wade,
I got you.
tell Justin what he needs to do to get swole.
Oh,
Yes, Wade. Answer this question.
Okay.
Do you need to call Logan and ask him?
No. Hold on. Hold on. Can I call Logan? Can I call
You
Logan?
phone a friend?
I'm phoning a friend right now. Hold up. I can turn him around.
You gotta put it to the microphone.
Yeah, you gotta like.
No, like this. Look. Logan. We're in the middle of we're in the middle of the podcast right now. You gotta talk to JB about how he can get swole. You're in the room right now, and now you're on camera. JB, tell JB how he's gonna get swole.
What's up, Logan? How can I get swole?
JB's already swole.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wade isn't talking about being swole, is he?
I called you. I phoned a friend.
No, literally, Clay just asked Wade and said, "So tell JB what he needs to do to get swole." And I said, "Do you need to call Logan?" And here we are.
Oh, well, get your protein in.
Protein.
Work out 4 times a week, take 3 rest days, and just work out hard. Get your vitamins in.
That's fantastic advice. I really like the 3 rest days.
Yeah, 3 rest days is you gotta rest so that you can rebuild. So there you go.
Solid advice, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your help, Logan. Said bye.
Wait, is he going to
Oh wait, no, I'm calling a group. No, I didn't mean to. I pressed. Okay, that has to be cut.
All right. Any other questions before we go?
Who's your favorite band?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a fantastic.
All time great.
Ooh.
That you can listen to Monday through Sunday and enjoy.
Can I give you multiple options?
That's not all time.
I know, but I love. So like I have this weird thing like where there's literally a song
We gotta get
Okay.
going in my head like constantly, and so like, I can go from gangster rap to country to metal to worship to like all like they're all
Yeah.
just cataloged in there somewhere. So like it's super hard for me to. I just love music, right?
Okay. I'll give you some rules.
I'll give you 3 right now.
I'll give you some rules.
Okay.
And then maybe we can make this a little more competitive. You get 1 band,
Okay.
1 solo artist, and 1 group.
It's a band and a
What?
Like a group of singers, a band, like just the band, and then like a solo
You're
artist.
talking about like the Backstreet Boys.
Well, like for example, yeah, like you get like Backstreet Boys, Jackson 5. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
they're not a band, they're a group.
Okay.
And then you get a solo artist, and then you get like a
They're
band.
not the same. I see what he's saying.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I just don't know anything ever.
Yep, exactly.
Who is your favorite band?
No one can hear you. Keep that down.
I don't have a favorite band.
How do you not have a favorite band?
I don't know.
What is your favorite song?
I don't know.
What is a song that you like? Do you like music at all?
Yes, I like music. You can't just pick one.
I
Even
know,
though
that's-
I
that's-
just told you to pick one. I don't know.
Name a song, any song.
Top of your head. No,
Hey,
top of your head.
I can't. I don't know.
She just
don't
hits.
I just forgot every song ever when you asked me that question.
See, I wish I had that problem because there is always a song like in here,
Yeah.
and it's awesome, but probably annoying to people that are around me very often because I like to quote song lyrics.
And church club.
Church Clap's a good song. I actually tried to do an acoustic version of that one time,
Really?
but yeah, I tried to figure out how to do it, and I failed pretty
cool.
miserably. But let's trying. So for me, if you make me pick, Incubus is a band that I've seen live probably 12 times,
That's a good one.
and
Oh, she don't know Incubus. It's all right.
I don't know anything.
1A Incubus, 1B Mumford and Sons.
That's a good one.
That's more my style of playing. And then I'll go worship artist, like hands down Chris Renzema. But I did
Can't say I know who that is.
You
Not at
should
all.
go down the Chris Renzema rabbit hole, man. Which I've done a couple of his songs. You know the
Is
song?
that song you showed me the other day, or is that a different
No,
person?
that I was about to go that guy too. He what's his name?
You said
Luke Bauer.
yes. I think it was Luke
Luke?
something.
I think it was Luke Bauer.
I remember it being like an L or something like that.
Hang on, I can find out. But no, the song that Beach Camp. Never mind.
Yeah, you weren't at beach camp.
I was not at beach camp. Just to be clear, I was in Europe during beach camp.
Good for you.
Oh, you were in Europe.
But no, there's a song. We've done it a couple times. At LPY, I think You're the Only One.
Oh, is that?
Oh, I like that song.
That's by Chris Renzema.
Oh, I thought you wrote that song.
Mm-mm. No, I wish I'd wrote
I really
that
like
song.
that song.
He's incredible. Well,
this is more just a talk show now. It's like done with the interview.
That's what
This is a talk show.
podcast.
Yeah, but this was supposed to be interview, and they just
We
turned
are
into
interviewing.
I mean,
what? We
not
did.
really.
yeah,
I
that
mean,
that was
not
that
really.
guy's
I mean,
name,
it's
Luke
not
Luke
really,
Bauer.
you know.
Huh?
Luke Bauer was that guy's name that I showed the song I showed you last week or whenever that was. Stumbled across that dude, and he's solid, man.
I love how we fell off of, like so hard. Like the interview was so serious for the first 30 minutes, and then we talked about Raw.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand how long we've been sitting.
No,
We
it's
got
almost 10.
We got in here at 9:30.
No.
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 No. The first group got in here at 8, like 8:15,
Yeah.
an hour and a half ago.
But we got in here at like.
I don't know what.
9,
We might have to.
9:15.
All right, we need to wrap this up.
Wait,
Yeah.
can we do the you know you about?
Yes.
Yeah, JB's got to
Oh
sing
wait, I
it
have a question for JB. I wanted to ask.
Oh,
All right.
I think of all my questions at the end every single time. Okay, let me ask my question. What's like your favorite moment that you've had worshiping at Lifepoint? Like as far as like whether that be like just a Sunday or like Wednesday worship night, beach camp, like that like impacted you the most.
So somebody asked me that the first round, and I said no. I picked one out of several. So like the one I told them was a couple weeks ago when
Yeah,
me
tell
and the
me a
guitar
different one.
like down, and everybody came down to the front.
Last
we sang
Wednesday? Oh
when-
yeah, a few weeks ago.
when we did Hallelujah for the Cross. That was incredible. Beach camp was unbelievable.
Beach camp was really good.
Which I'd never been to beach camp. I didn't know what to expect. The fact that we were all in that smaller space and y'all were singing your hearts out, like, and I just like could back away from the microphone and y'all were worshiping. That was pretty incredible. I don't know. Winter camp was cool. Probably, I don't know, man. One of the fire at winter camp.
Oh, that's a good
yeah,
one.
that was really
Winter
cool.
campfires always hit.
I don't know. There's way too many moments like that and like Sunday, for example. Just what I was gonna say. Like there was a moment where, and I can't remember when we talked. If it was us, did we just talk about Lynn and what she said at practice? Okay, so there was a moment.
Maybe we have been in here longer than I thought.
There was a moment Sunday morning where I was standing on stage and I was like, man, somebody needs to talk about what we talked about Wednesday night. And I didn't know who was about to pray or what was about to happen. So like in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to have to jump the gun and like beat whoever's about to start praying because somebody's about to start praying and I've got to beat them. So before I've got that in my mind and before I can make it to the microphone or find the courage or figure out what I'm going to say, Grace steps up to the microphone and starts talking about what we talked about Wednesday night. And it was like this moment of like, just Justin, shut up and get out of the way and let me do what I do. And I don't know, like it got me in, and I don't know, little stuff like that. There's really cool moments that whether it be something somebody shares or man, and here's the one. I just thought of this. The very first time I was ever playing and somebody came to the altar, no clue what service it was, don't know what song it was, but it was like as insignificant as I feel at times in doing what I do, and unworthy, and all of the negative thoughts that pop in my head. Like the first time that I saw somebody come down and handle some business with God, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. This moment, like we have collectively, we have a gift to bring music, and somehow the music has created a opportunity for someone to have an experience with God and get right or do whatever business they're handling there. And just completely in awe that who am I to stand here and help facilitate that in any way? Like it was very, very awesome.
I have one last personal question. Kind of, I guess, do you see Lifepoint as your home, and I guess why?
So there is absolutely no doubt that Lifepoint is home to me and my whole family. My kids have grown up here, thank God. But like, there have been countless times where I have heard this or that said from a stage, and then personally witnessed Lifepoint people put their money where their mouth is. Like, if it be that I needed something, or one of the kids or Amanda needed something, I need a friend, I need to talk about something, I need somebody to help me move something, like just over and over and over and over and over again, Lifepoint people show up, and like I want to show up for them as well, because of that. And I don't know, it's crazy how life functions when you find your people, and it's better together.
All right, I think that will do us good. It'll do well. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's kind of late. We can restart.
I have one more question.
Okay.
Before, so just a little behind the curtain look here. Before we left Big Church to come down here,
By Big Church, you mean LPY?
yes. I mean up yonder.
I got you.
Oh, that way. You said to the basement. Does that happen like every week?
To the auditorium. To the basement.
Because like, if that's not a thing, like I would very much like for it to be a thing. Like as you are making your way here, it's to the basement.
It is a thing. It is absolutely.
Was it a thing before today?
Yeah. It was. It's
almost
this is
like,
week 3.
Like to the bat cave.
For the
That's what I heard when you
for
said
the last 3 weeks. It's been to the basement.
Hey,
And I do my hand like that too.
Can we figure out like an LPY light to go in the sky? So when you say
that would be fantastic.
To the basement,
Yeah.
And that comes on.
Something. I thought you were gonna be
Batman?
light up.
I thought you were gonna say that like you need an LPY sign to hang up here. Like if you could do that.
I know a guy.
That'd be awesome.
I actually made 2 of those.
Neon?
Not neon. It's
Oh.
vinyl. It's LPY or Lifepoint.
Any sign would be good. A neon would be amazing.
I don't do neon.
Oh, that's tragic. All right, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Inside LPY After Hours. We interviewed Justin Brown, and he did not disappoint. So we will conclude this interview with the winningest offense coordinator for Albertville Aggie Lady Football. And then, Henry, if you would, you want to send us out here?
We're all gonna say.
Yeah, I know. You want to do it? You want to send it out?
Okay, yeah. Did I just go?
Go.
Okay. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Adios.